This
in what they
conference will
do.
now be recorded.
So with that being said, I have the privilege to introduce a very good friend of mine, not just a friend financially. I actually, we do business together, other ventures. Also, we are partners in, I'm gonna be honest with you, building the body, building the body of righteous people, building the body of Christ. He's a financial disciple. And as I say, Jesus always had a financial advisor with him. So I learned the simple code: keep one with me, because when you have people like this around you, protecting you, so you can make better financial decisions. I'm gonna be honest with you, that changes your life. We understand that what's more powerful than money is the knowledge of how it works. Because if you ever lose it, you can always get it back. And I'm just reminding you of what you already know. So I'm on here very humble. I have a law enforcement background, so I'm very careful with what I do. And I just have a heart to serve people, help people, really help themselves. But when this gentleman stepped in my life, he shared with me the ultimate, we'll say it this way, in a good way, the cheat code. And the cheat code is that, remember that document that you would get, the Cliff Notes and these little books that when you take your SAT test, you kind of went straight to the information? Well, he's going to show you how to collapse time right now, because a lot of us have been working on different projects. We tried different opportunities. A lot of times we maybe had some success and then it went away. But I'm going to give you the ultimate cheat code, and it's actually page 13 out of the wealth management book. I'd like to say 13 because there's a mindset out there that has you scared of the number 13, like what's on the 13th floor. There's no 13th floor. It goes from 11 to what, 14, whatever. So I'm going to share with you something with regards to, it's so simple and it's been right in front of us all along, but he is the one that actually has introduced me to something so powerful, life-changing, and what we all really been after, truly, to fund, I say, the assignment or the vision that we need to be financed in your life. So with that being said, I'm gonna use a frame, OPP. We understand that's other people's paper, or I like to say it this way, OPM, because there's never anybody wealthy that has ever achieved any level of wealth without using those three letters. So with that being said, we're gonna, what's I say less, and then what we're gonna do is show you the true cheat code that's been in front of you all along. You knew it always, but now Mr. TANDOC's gonna show you how to get to it with no interference but yourself if you choose not to participate. So with that being said, I'm gonna hand this over to Mr. TANDOC. Go do your thing, Jeffrey. And just once again, we welcome you to this environment. Thank you for what you do. You have a heart of a servant. You don't do it for the money, you do it for the mission. And that's why you're gonna be blessed into eternity. So the call is yours, my friend.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Trevor Thompson, Shirley Thompson, Brother Waters, thank you so much for those kind, generous words that y'all shared about me. I'm very humbled to be here and have the opportunity to share with everyone this valuable information. This valuable information is just simply out of this world. It is extraordinary because it is something that not everyone is teaching, much more not everyone has access to or has knowledge of. So let's start with Fundable 360. Fundable 360, all we do is we help businesses secure high limit corporate credit or corporate funding without a personal guarantee. Our unique services simply do one thing: we enhance your company's fundability. And we do that, and when we do that, we're able to provide access to diverse financing options for anyone and all companies, no matter how young or old they might be. Some people might call old seasoned. Okay, and we're able to do this through our personal, customized concierge that has been put together to serve all of your individual corporate needs. It's very, very interesting what we do because we guarantee performance. And the performance we guarantee is $50,000 bare minimum with corporate funding or corporate credit. What do you need to get involved? What do you need to get things going? You simply need one thing: you need a corporation, and your corporation has to have an EIN. That's it in a nutshell. I wish I had fancier words. We work with over 400 banks. We have delegate underwriting, and through our system and our delegate underwriting, that means you're pre-approved at the banks. And if you're pre-approved, well, actually pre-approved with us, but if you're pre-approved with us, you're also pre-approved at the banks. And that's how we can guarantee $50,000 in corporate credit or corporate funding. It takes about 30 to 90 days to get through the process. And, it's really quite incredible what we are able to do. We don't have a lot of time on this call. We got 30 minutes. I already took up 7, or maybe a little less than 5. But I want to open the floor to questions. And if anyone has any questions, please step up, unmute your microphone, and ask away. Does everyone understand what a personal guarantee is? A personal guarantee is like you signed your name on the dotted line, and that means one thing. You have said that you are going to guarantee any financial instrument that you've signed for, meaning you're putting up your personal assets, your social security number, everything under the sun as collateral against the loan or the financial instrument that you're signing for. That's a personal guarantee. We don't care if you have good credit. We don't care if you have bad credit. We guarantee that we will fund an entity with its EIN $50,000. And by the way, that's just the tip of the iceberg. We all know what sank the Titanic, right? It was an iceberg. What we saw at the surface, above the water, was just the beginning of what that iceberg really is underwater. $50,000 is what you will see immediately. What you won't see immediately, and as you continue to build upon your corporate credit profile, and as you begin to acquire, activate, use, and properly steward your corporate credit or corporate funding, you will see the iceberg, which will ultimately turn out to be hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars in lines of credit, cash on cash, without a personal guarantee. Did I scare everybody? Do we still have people?
I think you did, man. Everybody's fainting. They have to be, if they have any sense of what you just said. You have to be, because I did. I mean, I'm a little slow. I have a PhD, public high school diploma. So I had to ask about 8 times before it really sunk in. So I know we got some super sharp, smart people on here. That's why I keep smart people around me. Makes you look smart, by the way. But with that being said, can you break down, are you really saying that we don't need, or they don't need, your social security information?
Nope, don't care if I get it.
How about this? How about my debt to income ratio?
Means nothing.
Come on, man. How about if I just got an EIN yesterday? Well, it's Saturday. I can do it online right now in about 20 minutes.
We can call tomorrow, get on call tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. sharp. Whatever state you're in, we'll file a brand new entity of your choice. Limited liability corporation, C corporation, S corp, whatever it is you want. Not-for-profit entity, an IRS 501(c), and etc. We'll go to the IRS at 10 a.m. We'll get a brand new, fresh off the press EIN at 10 a.m. And at 10:05, your newly formed entity, no matter what kind it is ready for corporate credit or corporate funding. We really don't care how young or old your corporation is. We work with all business sizes, from startups to seasoned corporations. It's really that easy.
Can you name some of the financial institutes, just in case, this is the skeptical mind that I had. Just name a few that you're dealing with, that you work with, that you've done business through this program. I mean, my bank can't be, I'm on top tier. I'm Chase, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo. Do you work with banks like that?
Absolutely. In fact, Most of the small business owners that exist, 99, probably 95 to 99% of small business owners have tried to go to their local JP Morgan Chase Bank branch right there at 5th and Main. And when they walked into the bank, they probably applied for corporate credit or tried to get some sort of corporate funding for their small business. The likelihood is highly probable, I'd say 9.5 or 9.99 times out of 10, that small business owner was rejected by JP Morgan Chase or any given major banking institution, let's say top 25 bank in the United States of America. We work with more than the top 25. We work with up to 400 plus different banks. The reason why you can't get approved through your bank branch local is because that is a retail banker. And the retail banker does but one thing. They stay in their lane and they primarily deal with consumers. They're not familiar with corporate banking. They're not familiar with corporate credit. And so, therefore, because they are in the position that they are in, they have very little or no knowledge whatsoever.
Excuse me a second, Mr. TANDOC.
Please go right ahead.
Good deal. Okay, let's see here. Who is F. Gibson? You have your line unmuted. I need you to mute your line out. Thank you. All right.
Okay.
You received it.
So, very typically, they don't know anything about banking in the business world. They only know consumer banking. Okay. So, imagine that JP Morgan Chase is like the train platform, right? In Harry Potter. You got the muggles, 97% of the people, and then you got the magicians that are 1 to 3% of the people. The muggles get on the train platform and they tried to go to the bank branch and they got rejected. And those are 97 to 99% of the bankers. Then there's the 1 to 3% of bankers who are on the business side of banking. And because you know how to get to them, you can ultimately get approved for corporate credit or corporate funding. We at Fundable 360, or individuals like myself who are commercial mortgage bankers, are able to get into the B2B side of JP Morgan Chase. And coach, even though you may have gone to JP Morgan Chase, you're a great customer, 850 credit score, and God knows how much money you got in the bank, but whatever it is none of our business. You got rejected by the bank, right? But because that banker doesn't know anything, you suddenly came through us. JP Morgan Chase from the B2B side, business to business side, is going to approve you because we know all of the guidelines for all the 400 banks that we work with. And before you're ever presented again to JP Morgan Chase, we make sure that you fit the guidelines. Your corporate credit profile meets the guidelines for JP Morgan Chase business to business funding. Any more questions? Who's out there? I hear someone's open mic. That better mean you're paying attention.
Good question. My name's Eric.
Yes, sir, Mr. L. Eric. How can we serve you today?
Well, I kind of fell off the call and jumped back on or whatever. Something happened to my phone, but I don't know if you said or not. So is there any kind of fee or how do we start up with this or how does that process work? What does it look like?
Yes, absolutely. There is a fee. The fee to get involved with Fundable 360 is $3,000. But whoever it is that invited you to this call, you should get with them so they can get into greater detail in terms of how this is going to work.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thankful you asked.
That gets 3,000 guaranteed. How about if you can't get me funded? And how many people have been turned down through this process, if any?
So yeah, it's $3,000 to get started, ladies and gentlemen. We guarantee, performance guarantee, $50,000 in corporate credit or corporate funding. That is high limit corporate credit or corporate funding. Guarantee. If we can't get you $50,000, we refund Fundable 360, not waive, Fundable 360 will refund your $3,000. And as far
Good
as the
deal.
turn down rate goes, there's no turn down rate.
Yes, sir. Okay, this is what we're gonna do, ladies and gentlemen. This is fantastic information. Who else has questions here? Thank Coach T for those leading questions. Who has questions here? I don't know if I have some of my politician friends on or associates, or should I say that I consult. Um, you want to ask any questions? We're not going to reveal your name. I'm not, unless you want to say your name. You can present yourself that way. All right. Because we're about to transition into the trust. We want to hear from Mr. Jeffrey. Those some excellent questions, but we want to transition into the trust, not any type trust, because there were like 80 type trusts out there. So before we transition, we want to hear what's bulletproof from a trust expert that's knowledgeable and most importantly, proving of what he can do and has done. Any questions, please ask now so we can get into the trust, so we can protect your assets. And all right, the line is yours, Mr. TANDOC.
Outstanding. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's discuss trust, right? Let me get to the chase and let me just simply describe a common situation. Okay. And let's say we have a fairly profitable business. Let's say this business makes $500,000 a year. It has $300,000 in expenses, and therefore it has a net income of $200,000. Let's also say that in this scenario, that this is a one-member LLC. So now that we have $200,000 in net income, this one-member LLC typically brings that income into his or her personal tax return. So they have $200,000 on their personal tax return in a Schedule C. They're going to try and write down that income to pay less in taxes. Depending on where you live, you're going to pay anywhere between $40,000 to $60,000 in personal income tax. That should sound right about those among those people who understand and know how taxes work. $40,000 to $60,000. There's no way around it. Okay, does that make sense? So now what we're going to do is, with this one member LLC, we're going to advise this business owner to add a partner to their LLC. And that partner is going to be a business trust. There are two reasons as to why we add a business trust to the LLC. And those two reasons are as follows. Number one, a trust can distribute 100% of its net income to, or even its gross income, to a beneficiary. And when that happens, the beneficiary is then on the hook for paying any and all taxes for monies that are distributed to him or her, or them if there's more than one. Second, a trust can distribute 100% of its net income or gross income to charity. These two things are something that no human being or entity, corporation, LLC, S Corp, C Corp, whatever it is you want to call it, can't do it. Just not possible. So using these two things that a trust can do and a series of interrelated trusts, this is how we move money from a taxable arena to a non-taxable arena. And I'll finish the example with this. So it's $500,000 in expenses, $500,000 in revenue, $300,000 in expenses, $200,000 in net income that is now going to get distributed to a trust. So now that we've done that, what do we do with the LLC? What is the taxable income of the LLC? It is now zero. And what is tax on zero? Zero. So if we leave the money in the trust is going to have to pay taxes on the $200,000. Are we going to try and pay taxes on $200,000? No, we're not. What are we going to do? Well, I had just mentioned just a few minutes ago, maybe seconds, that a trust can distribute 100% of its gross or net income to a beneficiary. The beneficiary of the business trust is going to be a family trust. So now the family trust has $200,000 in income. Let's say in this family trust, there's $100,000 in expenses. Those expenses can include and are not limited to travel, clothing, food. Could be, if you have young children, your children's tuition for childcare. If they're in private school, it could be include their tuition for private school, college prep school, university, college, whatever the case might be. Such expenses can be included in or paid for by the family trust. So let's say in this scenario, there's $100,000 in expenses. The $200,000 income minus $100,000 in expenses equals $100,000 in net income. Again, do we really want the family trust to pay taxes on $100,000? No. We're going to take the $100,000 and we are going to donate $100,000 to your personal, private, charitable foundation. So what do we do with the family trust now? What kind of taxes must the family trust pay? It doesn't pay any tax, because $200,000 minus $100,000 in expenses minus $100,000 in charitable donations equals zero. The family trust now has zero tax liability. So now that we're looking at a charitable foundation, we're not talking about the Boys and Girls Club of America. We're not talking about the Girl Scouts. We're not talking about your local church or what have you. We're talking about your own personal, private charitable foundation. Something like Bill and Hillary Clinton Foundation. Something like Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. The Warren Buffett Foundation, the Hilton Foundation, whatever it is, any kind of foundation like that, we're talking about a private charitable foundation which you will be the trustee of and otherwise control. There is one thing that you must do being trustee of a private charitable foundation. You must take, aside from being in compliance with the rules and regs, which need to be adhered to. And the one big thing that you got to do is you have to distribute 5% of the private charitable foundation's income to charity. Now we get to donate to either A, your local church that you're a member of, B, the Boys and Girls Club of America, the March of Dimes, or whatever it is, whatever 501(c) IRS approved charitable foundation you want to donate to. That's $5,000. 5% or $5,000. What do we do with the other $95,000? It's simple. The private charitable foundation will go and invest those funds into anything that is lawful and otherwise legal. And the return on investment is going to come back to the private charitable foundation 100% tax-free into perpetuity. So in this scenario, I have taken literally a business owner from a 35% and above tax bracket to 5% or less. That's it. That's all I got. Again, very simple. There's a lot of people on here who may have a finance background, who may understand and know how taxes are prepared. But I promise you, not all attorneys, not all CPAs, not all enrolled agents are created the same. 97% to 99.9%, although even just make it easy, 99% don't know about this structure, and much more, not do they not know about it, they don't know how to do it.
So what type trust is this, Mr. TANDOC? That well broken down. Oh my grace. I just got a PhD 7 times 10. Yes, raised to the 10th power. So what type of trust is this?
It's a complex pure trust.
Complex pure trust.
Yes, sir.
Any questions for Mr. TANDOC? We have 6 minutes left. 6 minutes, Dougie Fresh, we're on. Let's go.
Mr. Atwood, I see that your hand is raised through
Oh,
the chat here.
thank
Mr.
you.
Atwood, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
I'll unmute him if you don't got it there. Let's go, Brother Atwood. Let's see. Where did he go? Are you there, Brother Atwood? Like he dropped. All right. Any other questions? I'm sure he's going to be back on.
Check, check, 1, 2. Can you hear me?
Yes,
We can hear
sir.
you, brother.
Hey, greetings. Appreciate the overview. Quick question. I'm sure. What's the cost to actually get a trust for one of the? Because you're looking at a fortress, as what I'm hearing. So you're getting a series of trusts over time to put this together. How much are they each?
Yeah, whoever it is that invited you to this call, there's a particular system that we
Gotcha.
normally run through. As much as we did cover the trust, we highly recommend that you get back to the person who invited you, because the pricing
That's fine.
points are very different in relation to how it is that you come to this call.
Okay.
Frank, truthfully, I would tell you the minimum cost in my end typically is $25,000
$25,000
per trust. Yes, sir.
per trust. Okay. Thank you.
But that's depending on how you come through. Is that correct?
That is correct. So whoever
Okay, gotcha.
the call, make sure you get to them, because the information and the pricing for the price point is going to be very different. But typically, my fee
Okay.
is $5,000. And on top of that, here I will tell you that's something that most trust writers don't do. Most attorneys. I will,
Okay.
in the event that anyone on this call is in need of a trust, and I happen to help you with it and write it, and you need help executing the trust for a fee, I will travel to wherever it is that you are, so that we can sit kneecap to kneecap, belly to belly, and look each other eyeball to eyeball and help you execute the trust documents. And I will do that for a fee. Most people do not do that. I really believe in meeting with people face to face and getting these things done and properly.
Wow. Unheard of. All
Yeah,
right.
that question
Any
was,
more questions?
you know what? There was I heard long ago. Let me just see if I can find it real quick.
Let
It's
me check
something
the
that
chat.
I was reminded of, and I would be remiss not to say or to mention this right now. It's all about your mindset, right? And your mindset really dictates how it is that you live life and get through life. In this particular instance, I would simply like to say this. People with a broke mindset always ask, how much does it cost? Instead of having a rich mindset by asking, how much can I earn? And the difference between the two tells you this. Your mindset will change your situation. Your mindset can make or break you. And much like in a trust, much like when you're pursuing a business, you must protect yourself and carry forward. Because there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of naysayers out there. But unless you know what is truly right and best for yourself, and you have the best possible information in front of you, you should never deny yourself the chance to break free from the 97 to 99% of people who know nothing except to follow a system which is designed, truly designed, to keep the masses of people broke or financially distraught. So forgive me for getting on a bit of a pulpit, if you will. But
no, you're in the right environment. You're in the right environment. This is WPGW, Financial Literacy Lifestyle, brother. You're in the right environment, and it's Kingdom most importantly. And I want to give a shout out to City Council, Miss Brenda McNair. She's on the line. Thanks for dialing in. And any other politicians that's on the line that's serving our community, that's genuinely helping, definitely shout out to her. One that really serves.
oh, I love the fact that you just said that, Brother Waters, because at the end of the day, this is what the Bill Gates do in the world, Bill and Melinda Gates. This is what Warren Buffett does. This is what Bill and Hillary Clinton or anyone in Congress or has taken the presidency of the United States of America has ever done. This is what rich people do, period, end of story. It is about other people's money or other people's paper. It is about own nothing, but control everything.
We got a hand raised. Look like Miss Deidre. Yes. Did you guys hear that? I want him to repeat that one more time. Say that again for the peoples. I know it and heard it, but we want to say it one more time. And Miss Deidre, if you would, or Mr. Deidre, come forward with your question after you repeat that for us, please.
Sure. Rockefeller once said, the way to get wealthy in America is to own nothing, but to control everything.
Beautiful.
And what I just described to you, some people might describe as the Rockefeller waterfall trust system. Miss Deidre, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Mr. TANDOC, you
Yes,
said
ma'am.
there were two things that about the trust, and I wanted to have you repeat. You were doing the example. You said there's $500,000,
Yes.
and then there's $300,000 in expenses, so that would leave 200,000 in net income. And then you said there are two things that need to happen after that. So
Well,
I wanted you to repeat that part for me.
great question. I'm so glad that you asked. Bless you. So it really boils down to this. Trust can do two things that no human being, no person, and or entity can do. A trust can distribute 100% of its gross income or its net income to a beneficiary. And when that happens, the beneficiary then is liable or bears the burden of being responsible for income tax that is due from that distribution. The second thing that a trust can do is donate 100% of its gross income or its net income to charity. That is a properly formed 501(c) IRS approved charity. Did I answer your question, Miss Deidre?
Yes, you did.
Very good.
All right.
I have a question.
Okay.
That was
This
my
is going to be the last
stepdad.
question. Okay, we're at a little past our 30-minute mark. We're going to take this last question from this
Get
young lady, this queen, and then we'll carry on to the next call or the next webinar.
Thank you.
You're quite
Thank you.
welcome. Proceed, please.
I'll let you get out of here. I won't be long. I was just curious to know, this is my concern. I have many LLCs and nonprofits. I'm very familiar with this space. My
Great.
concern is the 30 to 90-day span. That concerns me because I'm going to be pulling $3,000 out of operating costs. And I'm trying to figure out what's the criteria that determines whether I'm funded in 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days.
Great. I'm so glad you asked. As I mentioned before, you need to have an entity, whether it's your LLCs, as you mentioned, or your not for profits, and the EIN number. Aside from that, you must comply with the corporate concierge request for data and information. And as long as you comply and are able to produce such information in a timely manner, that dictates how fast or slow you move through the funding process. Did I answer your question, Miss Stephanie?
I believe so. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. My pleasure to serve.
Mr. Tandock,
Yes, sir.
in a nutshell, what you're saying is the process is totally contingent upon the applicant's ability to produce what they're asking for. Is that what I'm hearing? So I
Correct.
can speed up the process if I have the necessary paperwork and what's requested by the concierge, correct?
Correct.
So I'm controlling how fast it happens.
Correct.
Thank you.